Hey guys, it's Wooful, and welcome back to Geometry Dash. The original intro is finally back, and you know what else is back? Silent Dicctras, yeah! So it's been a while since the last Silent Dicctras video, where I built this part right here. I've done a lot of like reworks off camera. I finished these extensions right here, and the ones right here. Well, either way, we're doing Stallion's part today, which I've tried to do 7 times so far, but you know what, let's begin with it again. For this part, I wanted to go for art style similar to Jamattack, mostly as practice for Thundering Metropolis. Well, I'll just try to experiment this, plus this, I guess I can also kind of call this like practice. But yeah, I'll try to go for like a sort of a woody brick thingo, maybe make this like a little bit darker. I really liked building this block design, but it was pretty hard for me to explain what I was doing since I had to do so much experimentation with it. Yeah, I'll take these objects right here. Not the middle piece, just these right here, and then just copy paste these on some of the edges of the design. So that looks kind of clean already, but it could of course be better, so I made a Spock design that is basically the same as the block design, and it's also just for objects. Very optimized. Scale it down. Yeah. Do I need to keep this at the top? Yeah. See, that looks like a pretty decent spike design. But I did have to adjust some of the colors. That just looks weird, but I guess it fits the aesthetic with the other colors. Maybe I can try to change the color of these objects a little bit more. I'll just add like a slight circle. And then maybe I'll make the camera a little bit zoomed in for this part. I didn't really want to do 3D for this part, so instead I decided to do some drop shadow behind it as a sort of alternate effect. And if I copy, that's just 35 objects. As a glow creator, a block design that's 35 objects is a miracle. And that's kinda concerning. I think I'll just apply this block design to the other structures in this little part, and yeah, let's see what will happen after that. And while I'm filling in this block design, I'll humbly ask you to please subscribe. These videos take a lot of time, so any support would be highly appreciated. But let's get back to Silent Dicctras. Okay, I've done with the block design, and I really like this block design. And something also pretty cool about it is even with filling the entire block design, it's less than 800 objects, and am I gonna make this kind of a memory part or not a memory part? Because this was built for being kind of obtrusive, you know? Let's see what would look better. I spent a while trying to come up with indicators here, but I just decided to use some invisible blocks since they looked pretty cool. I think what I'll do now, I'll probably work on a saw blade design. Let's make it so that this is color 1, but probably a little bit brighter. And then I'll put like an object in the middle. I tried to use some cracked objects for the saw blade design, but I decided to switch it out with some glow instead. So that's a really simple design, but it works pretty well here. Since this is a really simple part, this design definitely needs some like color changes because it looks way too bright for this part. So I'll change the brightness of this back to just regular, and same with this. Maybe to just change it to 2 times brightness. And after applying the saw blade design to the rest of the part, I would begin with the ground spikes, which is pretty much the same design that I used in this part of a Jew. Let's do my good old trusty ground spikes, which is these ones right here. I love these ground spikes so much. I don't think I've ever met a single person who doesn't like decorating ground spikes, because you can never be wrong with ground spikes. Ground spikes is perfect. I don't know how many times I've used this specific ground spike design. I was gonna say especially in a Jew, but not really. I then copy and pasted the ground spike designs to the rest of the part, which took around 5 seconds. I guess the logical thing to do is custom background, which I might do. For the custom background, I would take some inspiration from the original part of the level and future funk for some reason. Yeah, some big like chocolate chunks in the background. So maybe I'll just take these, copy paste them all around, maybe scale them down as well, and then making 30 just lock to the player. That's the like new way for me to making like custom background movements. I then added another layer below this custom background, and here's how that looked. Hell yeah, it works. I feel like you probably need some more of it since, well, yeah, that looks very good. And I think pretty much what I want to do now is add some pulses and add some movement, and yeah, let's see what I'll do after that. So I'll just link all of these structures together as I always do, and that didn't take very long. But something that did take long was assigning the groups to the structures itself. What the hell is this groupage? It goes from 30 to 46. I'm just gonna go to 50 right away. There we go. Now I've grouped all of these together, so now I'm gonna add move triggers to all of them. I just used some simple bouncing movement for the structures to make them move into place, and nothing that interesting happened. But it was pretty funny that I accidentally made it sync perfectly to the music. But yeah, that was just accidental, and it actually syncs, so maybe I'll do that to the pulses as well, just make them HSV is 2 times a bit too much. The pulses were even simpler to make, and I don't really feel like covering it because it was so simple. But yeah, kind of big problem with the level is that it's pretty monochromatic, so I think just changing the color a little bit, and let's say, yeah, I like that. This part is beginning to get together pretty well. Now, something else that I want to do like a transition, like getting into this, so for that, I'll just take this glow piece right here, let's say scale it up to 3 times. I just made the transition a black screen that swiped over the level, revealing the player and the level itself. It was pretty simple to make, and I've done it a lot before, but here is how it did look like. That's too slow. That kinda works, except the ground, which is kind of a problem, so I unfortunately couldn't do anything with the ground, so I just had to stay that way for the rest of the level. I mean, it's not bad by any means. Like, yeah, it is kinda good. I kinda like it. I'll make some orb deco. I haven't done that in a while. This orb deco was pretty much the final addition I added to the level in this episode. I did build some more on another section of Stallion's part, but I think I'll include that in episode 2 instead. Now I'll just apply like this entire part over to this short thingo right here. But I guess that means that the entire video is finished. Today we built this part right here, and I think I kinda nailed it with like the designs for the parts. So let's get to the final showcase now.